What is up, guys? Welcome to the Ranger Central podcast. This is episode 35, the Mike Richter episode here. And today we are going to be talking just random things about the Rangers again, where we'll probably rant about Lafreniere inevitably. Chris Drury spoke today, so we'll talk about some of the things there. And then there's things around the league that we're going to talk about. There was a little bit of an incident that happened in Ohio. And I know that's probably a normal sentence to say, but with one of the franchises in Ohio, people that live in Ohio, please do not get offended. It was a joke. But yeah, and then we're going to go over season predictions. That's going to take up a large chunk of the episode. I'm here with Nico, and Nick will be joining later on. But we got a lot here, so we're not even going to waste too much time. We're going to just jump into it. So first, we're probably going to where do we start? Do we start with the incident, or do we start with Rangers related things?
Oh, we could start with the incident. Why not? It's the big story of the NHL right now, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
got to be covered.
and it kind of does tie the Rangers in a way because one of the candidates
Yeah,
that was interviewed as a head coach and that was one of the finalists that well, he actually didn't end up being a finalist, but he was
he
within the
definitely made
final
his
round of
way.
cuts. Yeah, he was close to the final round of cuts. But there was an incident that came out recently with Mike Babcock where apparently there's a thing. This is all from Spin Chicklets. If you don't know who they are the biggest hockey podcast. And this is where it's like, I'm trying to figure out how people are defending Babcock here because why would it's not like Spitting Chicklets here is in need of clicks. They already get like hundreds, thousands of views every episode. The last thing they need to do is one, put a bad image on themselves, and two, they don't need to get views like that. So this is all stemming from them. So according to them, Mike Babcock has asked players and even personnel too. Apparently during the interview, he was asking for the president and GM's phones, but apparently he's asking for players' phones to look through them and to go through pictures to see how a player is. And here's my problem with the people that say, well, you don't know what goes on there. You don't know what happens behind closed doors. The problem that I have with this is the name of the person who did it. If this is someone that never had a track record of things like this, it would be like, okay, maybe you could dispute this, but Mike Babcock has a long track record of doing things like this where we know what happened with the Mitch Marner incident. That was like the biggest of the incidents. Franz into, we know what happened there, but mainly the Mitch Marner one, which is probably the biggest story. And if you don't know what Mike Babcock did with Mitch Marner, he had the he had Mitch Marner make a list of players' work ethic from hardest working to least hardest working on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then he revealed the list to the locker room. And yeah, imagine being a rookie coming a 19, 20-year-old kid. That's how old I am. I can't imagine making a list to begin with and then the coach showing all these veterans in the locker room a list like that because that's just going to be a bad image on that's just a bad look. That's just a bad look if you ended up putting someone like one of the big veterans at the bottom of that list. That's going to cause a huge
Creates
problem.
tension in that locker room.
Yeah, and
A
it in
lot, to say
general
the
just
least.
creates tension. And it's like, I know that Boone Jenner and Johnny Gaudreau came out and said that, it was no big deal, that he just wanted to look at family pictures. But at the same time, I want to know who the player is that said that um said that Babcock is doing this, because I feel like this is something deeper than just him doing it to the star players. And I feel like one of the younger players or depth players, I don't have any information. I'm not claiming this to be the case. But if I had to guess, someone in that locker room is not happy with the fact that Babcock's doing that. He told someone else, and then that person told Paul Bissonnette. Again, I'm not claiming that's what happened, but that's just my guess based on all this. But I I just have a hard time believing that Babcock, maybe it's being blown out of proportion, and I'm sure he did look through phones, but I have a hard time believing at the same time that this is just a story that you could brush under the rug just given his track record. But it's just like, even if he was just asking to look at family pictures, it's like, why? Like, it's one thing if you're asking a player, okay, like asking about their family to get to know them and ask how they're doing family wise and everything. But it's another that just ask for someone's phone and then to look through pictures of their family. Like, that doesn't sound weird to anyone. Like, when you even put it like that, like, I don't know. I just find it strange that some people are trying to brush this under the rug. Like, I don't know. It's just the fact that we're out of hockey for how many years now? Like three years? Because yeah,
4 years. What was it,
so he
2019?
was fired in the middle of the 2019-2020 season. Not in the middle, like towards the beginning, after like 20 something games. And then he didn't coach, obviously, the remainder there. Didn't coach in the bubble. Didn't coach in 2021-22. Didn't coach last season. So 4 seasons. And you come back to the league and you decide to do something like this. Like, even if it is in an innocent way or anything, it's just like, why are you doing something that could cause controversy after all the controversy that's hanging over your head? Wouldn't you want to come back and show people that you changed? I don't know. Maybe it's being blown out of proportion, but that's just my take on it. I rambled for too long. Nico, give your take.
Yeah, you really hit every nail on the head there. It just doesn't make sense, as you said. Like, why would the Spin and Chicklets podcast lie about this situation? They don't need views or clicks. And as you said, if they were wrong about this, they would have a very bad image on them and would lose a lot of viewers. So there's no reason for them to lie about this. And I think the Boone Jenner and Johnny Gaudreau coming out and speaking out about it, probably just like a PR spin, just trying to fix the situation. And when it's really not a good situation, like it's just weird to me. It's really peculiar that, like, as you said, even in the first place, like, just asking for family photos, if that was the case, it's still just odd to
Yeah,
me.
let me see pictures of your kid.
Yeah.
That's not bizarre.
Like, it's just unreal. Like, I thought he would be changed and honestly be good for the Blue Jackets as the coach of the team, and like lead him to some success. But now with this whole situation, it's just it's not good, and wouldn't be surprised if he's fired before the season. But should be interesting to get more details pretty soon, because I mean, it's a big story.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either if he gets fired before the season, but I also wouldn't be surprised because it's the NHL if everything gets brushed under the rug and he coaches either a few games or he ends up just being fine and this magically disappears, this story, because this is hockey at the end of the day. And it took 10 years for the whole Kyle Beach situation to end up being resolved and things like that. I know he spoke out a bit later on that, but like, think of how long that took for that to like materialize fully. It wouldn't surprise me either if it got brushed under the rug. And it's just like pretty telling too that players that have played for Babcock before were saying that he's done it there and that they wouldn't be surprised if he was doing this either. It's like, I just don't understand how he doesn't learn his lesson. And I'm very happy now that the Rangers didn't hire him. This is a guy that I was in favor of the Rangers hiring, because I thought as a coach, he was actually a solid coach. And I thought by now he would have learned his lesson on when and when not to step over boundaries or when not to be a dick. But clearly he is still up with his antics. And again, it could be overblown. I don't know, but at the same time, it's just very telling that players that have played for Babcock are saying that it's not a good look. That's
It's
not a good
not.
look. And it's like you don't hear about other coaches doing this or just anyone else.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just find it so bizarre. And it just makes me happy that the Rangers didn't hire him, because could you imagine if the Rangers hired him? This would be a
That
bigger
would be.
story.
Oh
I
yeah,
hate to be like that, but it's
it
just
would.
the truth. If he was the
Highest
Rangers
marketed
coach,
team.
yep,
Just.
this would be the biggest story. People would shame the Rangers, say, uh, trash them, say that they're a classless organization. They don't
Hmm.
do enough research on these guys or anything like that. But the fact that he's the Blue Jackets coach is something that makes me think that there's a chance that he ends up just getting away with this.
Agreed. Absolutely. Um. Yeah, Babcock's honestly a guy that was up there for me on the coaching candidates list for the Rangers. So we dodged a major bullet there that he didn't end up being the guy because, man, if this was coming out, he was the Rangers head coach right now, like right before preseason's like a week and a half away here. It would have been brutal. The whole just drama around the team would just not lead to anything for us. So uh, thank God he's not with the Rangers, but just still got to feel for Blue Jackets fans that they're having to deal with this. The players, it sucks if that is indeed the case. What he's doing with this thing with photos and asking to be put on like a big screen, it's just ridiculous.
That too, it's like you're showing these, like, the story isn't just, hey, let me get to know your family and like look at pictures. It's,
On a
which
big
is, I
screen.
still feel is weird in itself
Hmm.
personally. People might feel differently, but to me that just feels a little bit bizarre. But to show it, to have these players show it on the big screen as if this is like an elementary school presentation in class, it's like I just don't understand.
It's wild. I can't believe this is the NHL like highest uh like just tier of a league, and you have stuff like this going on, which is just not okay. It's really bad, and I hope we get a resolution to it soon because you could just tell a story will probably drag out for no reason because it's the NHL.
Yeah, and it just saddens me too that like stories like this, people don't realize how much it hurts the NHL. Like the NHL continues, and it feels like we'll always continue to be in the news for the wrong reasons. And it's just beyond infuriating that we just can't, this game can't grow because you have a bunch of sickos within the hockey community. Like it's just so annoying. And because I want the sport to grow, believe me, I
Hmm.
do more than anyone who's trying to make this my living. So I need this to happen,
Uh,
but it's like I need that more than anything. I guess I should have, that was the
is the
opportunity
meme
to bring
prepared?
it
There
up,
we
but
go.
like yeah, but it's just like I just can't stand that stories like this continue to happen, and it's just like hockey culture is just brutal. It's just brutal,
Hmm.
and like I it, people say it all the time, and I hate to beat a dead horse by saying it, but it's just the truth. It's the sad truth.
Definitely is. Definitely is. I know every other league, like the NBA, NFL, MLB, aren't perfect, but there's just far too many scenarios in the NHL that just are out of control, and it's not going to help grow the game, as you said. So it sucks. We all want the game to grow, but it's just not going to happen this way.
Nope. And people keep wondering why. And then it's things like this where it's like, yeah, again, the NHL and the news for the
Yeah,
wrong reasons only. I love when Twitter doesn't work because I forgot to tweet out the stream because I'm trying to do that and talk at the same time. Um, but yeah, we'll move on from the whole Babcock situation. You guys are entitled to your own opinion there, but I just like, again, I find it bizarre, even if it's just in an innocent way, to be like, let me see your family pictures, like, and let me show it to the your entire
Yeah,
team. I just
it's just doesn't sound right.
yeah, it really just doesn't. But like I said, we'll move on to some of the Ranger stuff because there is a lot to talk about because we are now 10 days away, 10 days from pretty much this hour. We're sitting on
Yeah.
our couch watching,
MSG, Sam Rose and Joe Micheletti. It's only preseason, but we've been waiting on this for a really long time.
and the idiot I am is still gonna make videos on the preseason, but I I'm dying for it. I'm dying for hockey. This is the most I
You
have
know,
eyed for
go
hockey
ahead.
in a very long time. That's all I was gonna
Mhm.
say. Like I I can't express how much faith I had. Like this is the most confident I've been in a while due to Laviolette coming in as the coach. Like I with sorry, I had a little
I was
Chase
on
Bridge.
everybody's screen there for a second.
Yeah, that was a little Chase Bridge moment there. But like I was saying, Laviolette just makes me so excited for the season because it's like when you put it like this should be a reason to get excited. I went over at nauseum the 5v5 statistics for Laviolette in Nashville, but if even if the Rangers get mediocre 5v5 play, that's better than what we've gotten. The Rangers made a conference finals again. I know things went right for them in that Pittsburgh series, but they made a freaking conference finals run and went up 2-0 on the Tampa Bay Lightning, who were a juggernaut and not as good as they were in previous years, but still a very good team and respectable team. If they could even just bump up the 5v5 play to be mediocre, this team could go places.
Yeah. I don't know if I could say I'm more confident because last year I had them winning the Stanley Cup. Obviously, there was bias in there, but I was confident in the team last year. I got to say it. But then we really found out after the season, Gallant was, I mean,
A
a
fraud.
brutal coach, a fraud, whatever you want to say. So Laviolette wasn't the biggest fan at first, but like you are as well. I mean, I'm growing more and more confident in him to be the guy for this team, and I'm excited. Preseason in 10 days. Sucks it's on a football Sunday, but we can multitask. I believe it's 5 o'clock against the Bruins. The game. Is that what it
I'm
is?
I'm not sure. It's at 5 o'clock.
I'm pretty sure it's. I know it's on a Sunday. It might be a 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. I could check really quick.
Yeah, just
Uh,
let me know. But
yeah, it's 5 o'clock against Boston on the road
all
on
right, well,
Sunday. September 20th.
I'm excited for it. Hopefully, I can attend some preseason games. But please lower the ticket prices. I'm not spending $70 on a preseason game. It's
You
just
mean
not
you're
happening.
not going to spend $70 to watch a period and a half of Olaf Lindbaum? Are you out of your mind?
Wow.
I can listen.
Wow, what a
I'm
fake
as big.
fan.
I
What a
know.
fake
I
fan.
know. I'm as big of a Talon Boyko guy as anyone, as much as the next guy. But like I'm just. I'm not. We will not be there. Like we will not be there if the tickets are $70 for the preseason. And even at UBS, the tickets are like $40 for
sick.
preseason. It's like why?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like I
That's
don't.
just
That is
ridiculous.
absurd. I didn't even know it was like that at UBS.
Yeah, I don't understand why, but yeah, to get back to your point, yeah, I mean, anything's better than Jafraud Gallant being here. Like they'll just get
Fraud.
like the only way
Sick
that guy's getting a job at this point is because of Mike Babcock being canceled. So it's like I just don't I just don't see how the Rangers are worse than they've been over the past few years. We talked about this on Joey's podcast a couple days ago that it might take some time for them to adjust to the Laviolette system, but come December, come January, this team should be cooking.
Fingers
But-
crossed.
What'd you say?
Fingers crossed that they'll
Yeah.
be cooking come
Seriously.
January.
Hopefully, we need that more than anything. We really
We're
really do
Mbappe
need
when
that
it
more
comes
than
to that
anything.
one.
Yeah. But Chris Drury spoke to the media today, and we're in the year 2023, and the Rangers cannot find a way to publish it on YouTube or live stream it for some reason. But we ended up getting quotes, thankfully, due to the Rangers, for all the time they spent on the graphics to put these fancy quotes up, they couldn't just live stream the damn event. But regardless,
Why would they?
No. Why in 2023 would this team? Why would they ever do that? But
no.
And we're not going to get to see rookie camp footage because they build a somewhat new facility. Why put cameras in it or make room for cameras? But I digress. But the Rangers are not going to sign anyone to PTOs apparently unless there is, God forbid, some injuries. And I'm okay with it. I obviously would have loved more competition if they do end up changing their minds and signing someone to a PTO. Would not mind that at all because too much competition is not a bad thing. It is only a good thing. And it would just make players more hungry. But at the same time, I think that the only place they really would look for a PTO anyway is in the forward group because on defense, they're pretty loaded on defense, and we don't talk about that enough. They have obviously their top six that's going to play every night. They have Zach Jones, Ben Harper, Connor Mackey, Matt Collowell, who else? Oh yeah, Matthew Robertson, maybe Ty Emberson, who I'm excited about. They signed that guy who was in the Ducks farm system. I forgot his name, but regardless, they are Jack Harlow there. They do have options on defense. Goaltending, even they do have some options. Louis Domingue could come up if they need him to. Dylan Garand hopefully will take a step forward. Talon Boyko's now going to be in the system. So the only place really to add up front is up front in the forward group. But even then, they have guys like Belzile. They have guys like Nash. They have prospects too. Othman and Coley could end up fighting for spots. Anton Bleed, everyone's favorite, Jake Lecision. And then the guy who I'm banking on to make the team on opening night, Johnny Brzezinski. So we will be there for the Johnny Brzezinski 50-point season.
Yes.
But yeah, the Rangers. Yeah, of course. But the Rangers don't really need to add anyone on PTOs. The only guy that I really wanted on a PTO was Tatar, which it pisses me off that they could have signed two Tomas Tatars for less than Barclay Goodrow. But anyway, or 4 Tyler Motts for the price of Goodrow. But like I was saying, no PTOs for the Rangers, so no Phil Kessel in a Ranger jersey.
Shame.
Patrick Kane could come back later on, but that would not be a PTO, so which we would be there for that. But at the same time, we would also be there if Othman.
Maybe that's why there's no PTOs.
Could be, or they're really banking on Othman to have a big preseason and make the team, which that would be best case scenario. Because don't get me wrong, I'd love Patrick Kane back, and it would be great. But at the same time, having an internal option there with Brian Othman would be even better, in my opinion, because he'll obviously be cheaper, and it gives the Rangers more flexibility at the deadline where they're probably in a scenario. Like right now, we're talking about a scenario where I think it's pretty clear what the Rangers' deadline target is. And I know the season hasn't started, but it's clear that they need a top 9 forward that could play up and down the lineup and could play every forward position. Like Andrew Kopp. Pretty much like Andrew Kopp, but hopefully better in the playoffs and not a spoon sanity performance in the regular season. That's what they need. But outside of that, I think they're pretty good on defense. The only other question I'd have is in goal, if Jonathan Quick will be serviceable. But outside of that, I mean, I'm feeling solid about the roster to begin with. But if Othman ends up making the team, we're looking at a scenario where the Rangers, unless barring injuries, they won't have to give up a lot of assets at the deadline to go out and make moves. But again, this is what pisses me off. The Rangers have been healthy. They were healthy last year, except for Kane and Lindgren, and they couldn't even win a round. So
a lot of really good UFAs coming up too. So I'm interested. Dude, Jake Gensel is a free agent next year. I'm not saying it's possible, but if you're looking for a 16-game player,
I'll bang that drum for Devontae's until I can't anymore. But
Zuccarello.
I mean, for the price that it would cost to keep Trouba and to bring Lindgren back, they could probably get Devontae's, and then another forward. So again, Jack
A lot
Harlow,
out there.
a lot of options. But
A lot of options.
when Drury spoke to the media too, he was talking about how Blake Wheeler wanted to be a Ranger. Granted, I get it. Anyone would want to leave Winnipeg, so I can't blame the guy. But I love that he wanted to be a Ranger so much. That fired me up when I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing high fives over that signing.
We were.
Yeah.
Because we were afraid it was going to be like 2 million, 3 million. Like I remember we were drawing up the worst case scenario.
Yeah. I would have been, that's why I was like a little iffy, like this is gonna be like 4 million and like now we're screwed. But like when I saw the number was 800K, how do you not take that for a guy who has almost 1,000 career points? Well, he was a captain. I know there was the controversies with him, but he'll come in that room and I'm sure. I mean, it looks like already he's getting along with the teammates. You see him at
everybody
the
gets a letter.
Yes,
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he's just going to be a solid middle six guy putting up 50 to 60 points for the team. So,
no, he's putting up 26. Did you not see ESPN's projections?
Yeah.
What are you new around here?
ESPN already told us. They have the forecast.
And yeah,
they got
Logan, like I said before, I'm not the only saving grace for Jonathan Quick is that Benoit Lair is his goalie coach. And he could make anyone at least a serviceable goalie. The only problem that would come into play is if Igor did end up missing any bit of time, like even if it's like 3 games, Jonathan Quick for 3 games is we wouldn't be there for that. That's all I'll say. We would not be there unless Dylan Garand's ready. But
I feel like that's what would happen. I feel like if Shesty did go down, and they had to call up another goalie, I think it'd be one of those weird situations where the other goalie would outplay Quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Garand ended up coming up and outplaying Quick. But the question's going to be, it's going to probably depend on who's doing better in Hartford at the time because there's still Louis Domingue, of course. So
they're definitely going to split time. I think Garand and Domingue are going to split time, and the only reason they'll split time is out of respect for Domingue. But I do think Garand should, at this point, be taking the next step to where he should be a minor league starter next season.
Yeah, and another best case scenario that like we could talk about in terms of goaltending, if Garand really has a great year in Hartford, the Rangers have an asset, which don't get me wrong, it's not like they're going to get a lot for Louis Domingue. But if you could even get like teams are going to be goalie hungry by the deadline. We know this. If they could even get like even a 7th, you take something over nothing. Like that would be a great scenario and great asset management by Drury where Garand's doing great in the AHL. We could call him up if we need to. And then Louis Domingue, teams are goalie hungry. Teams might need a backup or a 3rd string. And then you can move Louis Domingue and get a draft pick. Like that's good asset management there. Okay. But are the Rangers smart enough to do it? I don't know. No. I trust Drury more than I would John Davidson and Jeff Gordon, but that's not saying much. So with the rest of the things, though, Drury was talking about how the Rangers are going to be – he says that the Rangers will be committed and up to the challenge for competing hard in all 3 zones. Him and Laviolette talked at length about that, and please happen for once because like the Rangers have been it's just crazy how this team has been where they've been the past 2 years with how piss poor they've played in all 3 zones at times. Like you could argue the best area that the Rangers play in is a defensive zone, and even then it's garbage. Like
fucking terrible sometimes.
We talked about it. Was it on the Rangers Ice Brew podcast where we talked about how the shift is the shift because they don't ever fucking produce offensively? Like, yeah, they never get offensive zone shifts for extended period of time. So that's why the shift is the shift. So it would be
so rare.
Yeah, heaven forbid a little dump and chase, even like heaven forbid carrying it up through the zone and being creative. Heaven forbid creativity. That's another thing that I'd love to see from the Rangers this year. like we don't talk about like even though the power play's been their strong point, that thing is not creative at all. Like
No, it's pretty basic. It's like force feeding Savannah to the puck and not trying anything else.
it's
Yeah.
4 guys staying stationary and then Adam Fox walking the blue line.
Yep.
And it's either make a slap shot in or Kreider somewhere in front of the net. He'll get that one. I'd want to see some creativity, and I actually did some research on how Laviolette likes to run a power play, and this is where I think Adam Fox is going to come into play huge offensively, and this is why Gustafsson too has had some good offensive seasons, or did last year under Laviolette. I was doing research, and Laviolette loves to get the defense active on the power play. He likes to get the defenseman or another forward, depending what he ends up doing. He likes to get them to crash the net, and then a guy on the opposite side makes a cross crease pass right in front, and then it's a tap-in goal. Like that's something that the Rangers, it's just not in their DNA. It's just something that they like. They just don't know how to do it. It's just something that we haven't.
Frank Bleach commented about piss my pants reading that.
Wait, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get Trouba skating the puck to the red line and blasting it around the back. And then that's a opposing breakout. You'll like it.
I hate how fucking true that is, dude.
I'm telling you right now, if Jacob Trouba's on that fucking power play again next season, I'm going to be pissed. You have Gustafsson and Miller. There is no fucking reason for Jacob Trouba to even sniff power play time. And it's like, this is what, like, I don't give a flying fuck the hits that he throws. $8 million is not worth a guy who cannot play on either fucking power play unit, can't even fucking skate forward, can't skate backwards at all, can hardly skate forwards. That's what I meant to say. And he just doesn't fucking bring, like, captain my fucking ass with this guy too. He doesn't bring anything to the table that's worth $8 million. And it's another scenario where it's going to be tough if the Rangers do want to move him and clear that cap this offseason. But I'll tell you right now, sign me up and I'll drive Trouba to the airport with that first round pick, because I don't care. Yes. I can't take $8 million for this shit. He doesn't bring anything to the table that's that exciting. Like I just don't understand. But
not at all. I mean, yeah, that first round pick. If that's honestly all we have to package a first round pick, bye. Give me that $8 million in cap space.
Seriously.
The Rangers are beyond lucky they didn't get fleeced in that trade. Like it looked like they did the first year, but Neil Pionk has kind of been a nothing burger lately.
He fell off.
He had a spoon sanity run, and then Hanel has been nothing for the Jets outside of that first year where he came up and scored a couple goals. He's been nothing. That
could have been a disaster if Neil Pionk.
We wouldn't have many words, yeah.
No, we would not have any.
I wonder what the Rangers would have drafted with that first round pick that we traded for Trouba. I'm gonna go look at that draft real quick.
Yeah, I was actually about to say the same thing. I'm kind of curious of who was even
the 2019 draft. That was the Kako draft, right?
Yeah. So the guys I went after was Sam Poulin. He's really been nothing.
Trash. Bjorn Foot, nothing.
Yeah, Simon Holmstrom, nah. Tomasino would be decent. I mean, outside of that, there's not really a lot of options that the Rangers. I mean, Shane Pinto would have been nice. New York's own Shane Pinto would have been
really nice.
Well, you wonder. An option. I don't know, dude. Like that was kind of a weird draft because this 2019 draft was really not very good.
Yeah. My favorite's looking back at the 2020 draft though, because I remember everyone hyping up that draft class.
Yeah, it was kind of
like crazy, and it kind of has not been great. But
it's actually been pretty bad.
Yeah, it has been. It's been brutal, underratedly brutal. But the last two things that I wanted to mention that Drury said, he was asked about if he feels the Rangers have enough grit. And to that I say, no, we need Ryan Reeves back to police the ice.
The ice.
Because that's what someone commented on one of my videos one time when I
remember that one.
Dunking on Ryan Reeves. Yes, we need him to police the ice. 1.5 sheets. Yes. Playing every game. Let's go. Third line. He even got first line looks for us. Like we were down in the dumps so much at times. But he
Reeves on the first line.
The one thing that I will say that I loved about Ryan Reeves is that he always, like, I don't know what it was. He always stepped it up against the Islanders. He
He did.
just always made skill plays against the Islanders. Like,
And the Penguins too. Remember that 2-goal game he had against the Penguins?
That was against the Leafs that he had a 2-goal game. Did he have one against the Penguins too?
I thought he had a 2-goal game against the Penguins too.
He might have. He might have.
Could have. I feel like he had multiple 2-goal games. He might.
I mean, that sounds right if he did. That sounds right.
Yeah,
but I know for sure.
First and second goal.
I know for sure one of them was against the Leafs because
that's why they signed him.
Because
TNT. Wouldn't he go off on TNT? That
yes.
Was like
that was the that was the Leafs game, and I was at the game, and some guy on the escalators like, Ryan Reeves hat trick tonight. Watch. And after he scored 2, I'm like, holy fuck. Did this guy fucking call it? I was like, is Reeves actually going to get the hat trick?
Oh, my God.
Hopefully he locked at least 2 goals into the sports book, though, on
wild.
that. But yeah, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, no fucking way. But
I don't know. I'm really nervous. Like, this is the least optimistic I've been going into a Rangers season. And it keeps flip-flopping. I don't know why. I don't have any faith in this core at all. I don't have any faith that Lafreniere is going to take a step. I don't have any faith that Kakko is going to take another step.
I was going to get to Lafreniere in a minute, yeah.
I have no faith that Panarin is gonna do well in the playoffs if we get there. I feel like Kreider can be Kreider again. He's gonna be hot for 10 games in a row, disappear for 20, hot for 10, disappear for 20. Shesty is Shesty. Shesty and Fox is not who I worry about. Bonino, I don't know how good Bonino is anymore. He's 35 years old. If we would have gotten Bonino 4 or 5 years ago when he was still like a 30-point fourth liner, winning a ton of faceoffs and still gritty as hell, not worrying about his 35-year-old legs. Yeah, I'd be happy about that. Wheeler, I'm a little excited for Wheeler. I'm very happy with Gustafsson, but I don't know. I'm pretty indifferent about this roster right now. I feel like this is almost like the Rangers of old, where it's like, we don't know what the fuck we're going to do, so let's sign as many cheap veterans as humanly possible and hope they pan out. That's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. I know we didn't have any other choice.
Yeah, because Jeff Gordon fucking cap strapped this team, and then obviously the cap not going up the way it was anticipated screwed this team.
All the hometown discounts we have.
Yeah, seriously, with Trouba. But with Trouba and Panarin. But I don't know. Like, the reason why I'm feeling confident about this team is because I feel like Hedl, as long as he could stay healthy, he's gonna have a huge year. Kakko, I feel like he's right there. He's knocking on the door for a breakout. Lafreniere, I have no confidence in. Everyone knows that. I've been very vocal about that. But at the same time, teams might see potential in Lafreniere that the Rangers could make a move where they flip Lafreniere to get help somewhere else on the roster. So that's not something we could rule out there. And then, yeah, I understand that you worry about them just bringing in a bunch of veterans, but like at the same time, that's kind of what teams recently have been doing. Like even the Golden Knights had a couple of veterans in the bottom 6 there. Yeah. I don't know. I just like, the thing is that they're really banking on Laviolette to save this team, which that's the main reason why I'm so confident. And the question about players not buying in is definitely a question that I've been asking, is if they'll end up buying in. But at the same time, if David Quinn could get Panarin to play good on both ends of the puck, like he did in his first year here, Panarin, I don't see a reason why Laviolette can't get that out of him. I really don't. To me, it really banks. Like, it's a lot of pressure, but this season banks on Hedl, Lafreniere, and Kakko more than it has in years prior, because they have to take the next step forward. Yep. They have to, because if those guys could become bona fide top 6 players, we're looking at this team completely differently, because all of a sudden, holy shit, Vinny Trocheck's our third line center and cemented there. And then Blake Wheeler, holy shit, that's what a great third line piece we have. You get another third liner, and then this team has what I think is a very good fourth line. I know you have questions about Bonino, but the only question I really have about Bonino is health. Because like, if you look at his past few years, he has still produced.
Can't stay on the ice.
Yeah.
Can't and if you and Drury's talking about him playing a forechecking and gritty role, it's only going to wear him down more. Like if Benito plays 60 games this year, I think it's a successful season for him. I don't know.
But at the same
He
time,
worries me a lot.
I don't blame you, but at the same time, at least the Rangers have depth this year because the past few years, like a guy like Tim Gettinger should never have got fucking games for this team. Like
Garbage.
The Rangers have more depth than they've had over the past few years. Plus, like I mention all the time, this roster going into this year, this roster is 1,000,000 times better than it was going into last year. Like Sammy Blais and Barca Goudreau were definite top 6 wingers for this team, especially because Gallant forced the kid line back together, which, by the way, should not be a thing this year because if your best line at even strength is a bunch of younger players that at best put up 40 points, your team has a serious problem. So they really need those guys to step up, and the kid line cannot be a thing because they can't have guys like Jimmy Vesey in the top 6 anymore. No. But I really have faith in this team because of Laviolette, because like I mentioned earlier too in the episode, the fact that this team has got to a conference finals and could have potentially got to a conference finals if they beat New Jersey this past year with terrible play under Gerard Gallant, I don't see a reason why they can't do it under Laviolette. It's going to be up to the players if they want to buy in and play and commit to the grind. Like, that's really the big question. And if not, then this team's fucked. No question. But that's why I'm saying, like, this is the last coach.
They got a chip on their shoulder, too.
Yeah.
100%. The Rangers also have a history of doing really, really well in their first season under a new coach. Gallant, you go to the Eastern Conference Finals. David Quinn doesn't count because he's just fucking garbage. But Vigneault, we go to the Cup. Yep. Tortorella gets us back into the playoffs year 1, but then again, that was also kind of couldn't really do nothing there. Mike Keenan, we win the Stanley Cup. You know, it's like Fred Shero. I'm looking at Hockey DB now. I'm not doing all this from memory. I wish I could, but Fred Shero, they go to the Cup his first year. The Rangers always tend to do well their first year under a new coach, but I also worry this is also kind of like a Nanny McPhee situation where it's like a bunch of spoiled brats running around the house. The angry, mean nanny comes in, and it takes a little while for things to get settled down, and hopefully it doesn't take too long because, man, if we have another slow start to this season and then we blow our load just to get into the playoffs.
Well, that's where the tough road might be for the Rangers this year is if it takes them longer to adjust to Laviolette's system. But at the same time, remember how long it took them to adjust the AV system, and they still made it to the Cup. But
it's true.
I think the key also that we know in the playoffs for this season have to close series out, especially if you're up 2-0. No.
They blow another 2-0 lead, man.
God, that shit is so fucking
You gotta
bad.
learn. You just gotta learn.
I hate that I called it too. I hate that I even said during that live stream we were up 2-0. This series is not over yet. I hate that I even had that thought in my fucking head, like we knew they were going to let us down.
Yeah, because this all stems back to Gerard Gallant for me because he just didn't have an answer or even try to make an answer.
No adjustment.
Except for his fucking pants, and his expensive suit.
Right.
No adjustment. And again, like even with Tampa, they've found an answer, and then the Rangers didn't adjust or even try to. It was just go out there and have fun, like Gallant does with the Rangers, or does anywhere he is actually. But which also it just annoys me how blinded we were by that Vegas run with him. But the fact that the Rangers were able to go up 2-0 on Tampa Bay and then a team that's now considered the second best in the league, even with a half competent coach, they should be able to close it out. And I'm still, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm like very convinced that Gallant quit on the team after him and Drury got in that shouting match. Like he knew that he was getting fired by that at that point. That's just my opinion, but
I think you're right.
That could be. That's a good point. I could
And
see that actually.
yeah,
What would you
and that's
say at
something
that
that makes
point?
me feel better is that Laviolette and Drury seem to be on the same page and having a collaborative effort. Like they put the coaching staff together. The two of them worked together to build a coaching staff. It wasn't just, yeah, Laviolette, come bring your buddies in. It was a collaborative effort between the GM and the coach. And I don't know, like maybe I'm wrong for having optimism because at the end of the day, there is one thing that could kill the optimism. The Rangers will Ranger at time.
Yep.
At times, like that's the only thing that I feel like could kill this is the Rangers getting in their own way, like they have the past 2 years. To me, though, this core has too many talented names to not thrive. That's just me. But
Agreed.
well,
I see both your sides. Just to wrap it up
Mhm.
there, like how you're optimistic, how Nick is not as optimistic. I think I'm in the middle. It's tough. I think, as you said, this team's too talented. I think Laviolette will
Mhm.
really help, but uh, I mean, I'm scared. Like if this core is maybe just not what we think it is, and I mean, this season will tell it. If we need to blow it up, or if
Mhm.
they will make a run. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, but yeah, as you said, it overall really thrives on the kids.
yeah, 100%. And we'll move on though. The last thing
Mhm.
I wanted to talk about that Drury did talk about to the media is that Lafreniere and Othman will get looks at right wing during
God.
preseason and camp, which is good. Obviously, we have questions with Lafreniere, and we won't go too deep into it this time. But all I'll say is like, let's go. It's fucking time. If there's ever a time, now's the time for Lafreniere, and prove us wrong. I don't know if he physically looks different, as if like he was working out and we just
Right.
didn't see footage. Uh, but yeah, I'm just. But we know Othman put on 10 pounds, which excites me. But Lafreniere, first overall pick, yet still has to get carried by line mates.
Yep.
He's never the main character. Um, Panarin's able to produce with bad line mates, so I don't know Lafreniere's excuse when he's this franchise guy, but
Supposedly.
yeah. Uh,
La
the,
franchise.
yeah. The only other, like, the only thing I could blame on the Rangers at this point with Lafreniere is that they should have demoted him at some point because if he's not going to show a strong enough work ethic or anything, then like you got to just demote him and send a message. But
Well, this is
Gotta
like
give him a
kind of like what I
scare.
was talking to Steven about on Twitter the other day. It's like the NHL and the CHL has got to work out a better deal because Lafreniere was way too good and way too proven to go back to the queue.
yep,
But there was a real argument made that he was not NHL ready quite yet. Could he have played in the NHL? And did he play in the NHL? Yes. And yeah, he's an NHL player. But he probably would have been a lot better off playing a year in the AHL or at least half a season just to get his feet wet. Because, dude, that was absolutely abysmal his rookie year. He started off good, and then it just looked like shit. And he looked scared to try to do anything. Like, I attribute David Quinn to a lot of the delayed development of our young players, specifically Lafreniere, Kakko, and Hedel. Hedel especially. We saw what Hedel did even under Gallant, who's really not a great coach. Hedel exploded after Quinn. But God almighty, like even Kakko a year in the AHL would have been great. Laff a year in the AHL would have been great. And it just, we never were, no. So it's a world I would have liked to see because I would venture to say that if Lafreniere and Kakko both get that year of minor league hockey before coming up and bouncing up and down from the second, third, and fourth line, they're probably better players.
yeah, it helped Hedel a lot when he started that year in the AHL and then came up, and then look what happened with Elias Anderson. Granted, that I will blame more to Quinn because
Yeah.
and the Rangers themselves because they didn't let him get acclimated the way that they should have.
Right.
And he played on the fourth line with Brennan Smith, who they tried to make a winger, and Michael Haley. So it's like, I don't know. But we'll move on now to the season predictions just because we're already far into the episode. So we did this last year. went fucking terrible. Like, there's no sugarcoating
It
it.
was so bad.
Yeah.
We need to do better this year.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like this year I'm feeling better this year, despite the fact that the Atlantic Division is such a clusterfuck and such a hard division to predict. I'm feeling pretty. I'm feeling better this year because I'm not gonna. Because last year I bought into the hype of some teams. Like last year, I thought Columbus was going to be a better team than they actually were. I bought into Buffalo a little too much and a little too early. The only thing that I think I was like dead on about was Seattle being like a pretty good team, because that was like the only thing that I remember being somewhat right about. I had them missing the playoffs, but I still had them like better than most people did. Outside of that, I did awful. There's no way around it. It was a disaster. I mean, I had New Jersey in last place, so
Jesus.
that tells you all you need to know. But so
Are
don't take
we
my
going by
predictions.
division? Are we doing division standings?
Yeah, so we'll start off
Okay,
in the
good.
Pacific first. Who do you guys have in last place in the Pacific, and why is it the San Jose Sharks?
I'll go second on this one.
Yeah, you're dead on about that. Is the San Jose Sharks? I think they're the worst team in the league. I think they'll
Yep.
be atrocious, and not much of an explanation other than that. I mean, yeah,
David Quinn's their coach.
David Quinn. Yeah,
The,
that's all that's got to be said.
the only way they might not finish last is if the Ducks cannot friggin' agree to a contract with Trevor
True.
Zegras. But
True.
outside of that, yeah, they're last. But
Who's Trevor Zegras?
just
you're talking about Dixie D'Amelio's boyfriend. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I only know pop culture. Sorry.
yeah. But who do you have in last place?
That's San Jose. I don't even. Well, no, maybe not even without Zegras, but I think there's a gap between Anaheim and San Jose, especially. I mean, hold on, I have San Jose pulled up here. Their starting goalie, they're banking on Capo Kakinen and Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah.
Like, their top defenseman is Mario Ferraro. All right.
No. Vlasic.
Dude, I don't know. And their forward core, but between Granlund, Hoffman, and Duclair, it's literally the battle of mid.
No, this is Zadina's year.
Oh, right.
Quinn will get him. Quinn will get him, right?
I don't know. I don't know. And the fact that they're doing this with almost no cap space too, as the worst team in the league, blows my fucking mind. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be bad. If it's not San Jose dead last, and not just in the division, but in the entire NHL, I'd be amazed.
Yeah, I agree, and they probably won't win the lottery still, but
no, they won't. But no Macklin Celebrini for them.
No, but so we're all in agreement there. I think we're all in agreement then with 7th place, the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Do we even need to spend time? I mean,
no.
Outside of the fact that they have some exciting. Yeah, I mean, they have exciting pieces up front.
They signed some guys too, some veterans. I mean, overpays for sure, but I mean, it'll help the team right now. But it just might be better than the 6 teams above. I think we could agree on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't understand how Zegras doesn't have, or Dixie D'Amelio's boyfriend doesn't have or girlfriend, girlfriend, yeah, girlfriend doesn't have a contract right now when they have $16.6 million in cap space. But whatever. But we'll move on. Who do you guys have in 6th place?
It's a tough one. I'm not going first for this one.
In 6th, I have Calgary. I think
Wow.
the Calgary Flames are in 6th place. I just don't see it with this team. They fell off really hard last year, and
I'm making that face like
coach now. Why am I blanking?
That far off from my prediction. I don't even know who they're. Who is there? Ryan Huska, whoever. I don't know if that's related to Adam Huska, but yeah. If he's related to Adam Huska, they're gonna lose to Colorado a lot.
Yep.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I mean, I think Lindholm is gone at some point. Maybe Noah Hannafin as well. I just
they're rebuilding.
I think this team we expected bad season and they fell off. So Yeah, I just don't see it with them. I have them in 6.
Nick, do you want to go or do you want me to?
I'll go, but I am very, very, very loosely putting Calgary in 6th. I'm
Fair.
not going to say who I think the other team would flip flop with because they'll be next, obviously. But I'm going to say Calgary, but I could see it going either way with the next team.
Yeah, I think it's a lock, the bottom 2, and then these next 2 here. It's just a matter of the order. For me, I have the Canucks in 6th place.
Yeah.
I question if Elias Pettersson, if they're going to reach an agreement there on an extension. If not, they have to trade him. I know he's an RFA, but still, like, they could get a king's ransom for him if he doesn't want to play there, and he asked out of the organization. And then,
Rangers.
yeah, we would be there. We would absolutely be there for that.
Who we wanted.
Yeah, and then we got B.S. Anderson. How great. Yay. But I don't know. I just don't see I just don't see enough talent there in Vancouver. I think Calgary has a way better roster, at least on paper. Which that's my next pick in 5th place, and I'll just kind of segue to them off that. I think Calgary just has a way better roster. The only piece that they ended up moving this past offseason was Tyler Toffoli. Holy moly. And Markstrom is not, I don't think Markstrom's going to be as bad as he was last year. Like, there's no way. And even then, Wolf is going to come up for them potentially, and he should be a solid goalie. The question obviously is if coaching will be good enough for them, but I still think Calgary just has a way better roster. I can't imagine Huberdeau underperforming that much. Coronado's going to come up for them too. They have some exciting young pieces coming through, and I just think their roster's better on paper. That's just my opinion, though. I'm assuming you guys have the Canucks, though.
I do not.
Oh!
Okay.
Curveball.
I have the Seattle Kraken into
Oh!
Oh!
Snap
Spicy
crackle
take.
overachieved last year.
I said save the bull takes for last, Nico. Damn.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it, though.
You guys will be
I
surprised
want to hear.
Yeah. I think the Kraken overachieved last year. I really do. Their roster to me is like they don't have like that bona fide like stud. I know they have a bunch of like just solid players, but I just don't think they will be as good. I think I have them in 5th, so I don't know if I want to spoil it. I mean, I have them still making the playoffs as 2 wild cards in the Pacific. I'll just say it, but
that's a hot take.
I do not. Yeah, I do not think they will be as good as they were last year.
Yowza. That's you know what? I agree with a lot. I agree with a lot of what you just said. They definitely overachieved last year. I'm not gonna say anything else because I don't want to spoil my next pick.
Well, yeah, they're my 4th place team. I have them as the first wild card team. I agree that they definitely overachieved. So that's why I think they fall down a bit in the standings. But I think Hackstall, we were all wrong about the guy. I think he's actually a decent coach, which surprises me as much as it probably surprises everyone. And I just think roster-wise, they have some decent pieces either way. Like, I know they don't have the big name, which is why I don't think they're going to end up winning the cup like some people might predict. But outside of that, I mean, I think that they have some... I still like some of the pieces they have. I'm a huge Jared McCann guy. Cannot believe the Toronto Maple Leafs did not protect him after trading for him. But instead of Kerfoot. But outside of that, I don't know. I mean, Beniers should take another step forward in his development. I think they have some nice pieces there. And then Shane Wright cannot be as bad as he was last year, right?
Careful, you're a Rangers fan.
Right? Who do you have in fourth? Who do you guys have in 4th?
You want to go first, Nick? All right. In 4th, another surprise. I do not have the Canucks. I have the Los Angeles Kings in 4th place.
Wow.
Yeah, I am high
Canucks
on the
just
Vancouver
climbing that rope.
So, yeah.
And that's your wild card. That's your wild card 2 team, right? The Kings.
Yeah. The Kings are my wild card one. I have the Kraken still in the playoffs, wild card two. So two Pacific teams
Oh,
make the
got it. Yeah,
playoffs.
that's what I meant. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
Nick, who do you have?
In fourth place, I have the Edmonton Oilers.
Whoa.
I don't think there is a chicken's dick's chance that Nugent Hopkins does what this year what he did last year. I think teams at this point have to be privy that the Edmonton Oilers roster starts and stops with Draisaitl and McDavid. I still think McDavid and Draisaitl are going to put up just stupid points.
Yep.
But I don't think it's going to be the scale as it was last year. I think they're going to be relying more on themselves than their partners. I don't think Hyman's going to have as good a year. I don't think Evander Kane's going to have as good a year.
Whoa. Be careful talking down on Hyman. That's my guy.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, I hate to break the Hyman, I mean the mood, but this is what's happening. I don't think he's having good of a season. I don't think Darnell Nurse is nearly as good as his contract suggests. They still are having a goalie mid-off between Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell. What was their big move this offseason? Oh, they coerced Brandon Sutter out of retirement to bring him in on a PTO. Oh, they re-PTO'd Sam Gagner so we could try to break David Perron's record for the most time leaving and returning to a team. All right.
I did like the Connor Brown move. That's
okay, so
I did like.
So they have their top six is McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Kane, Nugent Hopkins, and let's say Connor Brown. It's actually a really good top six. What's their bottom six? Warren Fogle, Ryan McLeod, Matthias Janmark, Dylan Holloway, Derek Ryan, Raphael Lavoie. You're telling me right now that team, that bottom six is going to compete with LA, Vegas, Seattle, even Calgary and Vancouver? I don't know. I am not convinced on Edmonton at all. I am convinced on McDavid being the MVP of the NHL again and Draisaitl not being too far behind him, having another 50-goal season. But the rest of the Edmonton team, especially with I think every Pacific team, specifically the top Pacific teams, getting better, that I don't see it.
I can't agree with it just because they've proven year after year that they could still win the division. And I think Matthias Ekholm is just such a good staple for that blue line. And having him for a full year, that's going to do wonders for them, in my opinion. But
he's awesome.
Fair to have a hot take, but
he's 33. So my thing on Ekholm, he's 33 years old. And with Edmonton, he's getting a lot more minutes with Edmonton than he did in Nashville, which means he'd be blocking more shots, which means more risk for injury. I'm playing the long game. I think the Oilers are in the play. I have them in the playoffs, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of regular season success this year. I think a lot of it's going to come down to the depth in their lineup too.
Fair. Do you have them as wild card 1 or 2? Do you have 2 teams in the Pacific?
I have them as wild card 1.
Okay.
I think the Pacific is far more advanced than the.
Wait. So do you have 2 teams in the Pacific making it, or
no? I have a central team making the other wild card spot. But...
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Third place for me, I have the Golden Knights, and I think the Golden Knights will be good again. For me, it just is going to be Stanley Cup hangover. It happens. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think they're going to be as good in the regular season. But once the playoffs come around, they'll be a juggernaut again. Who's your third place team? Since I don't know where Nico went, but yeah, he lost connection, I think. But
yeah, I think Nico just DC'd.
No, we haven't done the Metro yet, chat. But yeah, who's your third place team?
I have Seattle in third.
Fair. Yeah, I mean, we went over them.
I think they're a regular season team. I think they're a really good regular season team.
Yeah.
Guys like Jared McCann are only going to do better, I think.
That's my point with Edmonton, which is why I have them higher up in the standings, which I'll just spitball my last 2 teams, since if I say one, you'll know the other. I have the Kings in second and the Oilers in first. The Oilers are just a regular season team. I think the Kings are going to be the same. I think that the Kings made the wrong decision. I know we clown, like, we're the kings of clowning Pierre-Luc Dubois, but like that trade, I just still cannot get giving up all those assets to get PLD as if he's some franchise center. But those are my top 2: LA in second, Edmonton in first.
Yeah,
I've got Vegas in second and LA in first.
Who's your third place team? Nico,
My third place team is the Linsanity run comes to an end. It's the Vancouver Canucks. I do think they're going to be a very good team this year. I really do. I like their forward core a lot. I think Beauvillier is a good piece. Kuzmenko, Besser, Elias Pettersson, I really like. I think they're good on offense, and then on defense, you got Quinn Hughes, who has been very good, and now he got the C on his chest, so I think he's going to really thrive. You got they picked up another defenseman. I think it was Susie. I want to say he's a good pickup. Ian Cole's a solid veteran. You got and in goal, I love Thatcher Demko, and I really like Talkhead as a coach. So I think they did really well under him after the Boudreau departure. So I think they really take a step up in a full season and come in third. And then second, I have Vegas, and one I have the Oilers as well. I think you said you had the Oilers in first, right?
Yeah. Just to go back to Vancouver for a second, you sound like me last year with them. I was very high on them last year, but my only issue is like some of those guys, I don't know what happened in Vancouver, but everybody's shooting percentage was crazy. Do you know how high Kuzmenko's shooting percentage was last year?
Can I guess?
Yeah.
I'm going to say 24.
27.3%.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, that's like scoring on almost every third shot.
He is
not
replicating 27%.
Yeah.
God damn.
I like Kuzmenko, but he is not replicating 27.3%.
Wow.
So I don't know. Like I like some of the names on paper with the Canucks, but I personally feel the opposite about Talkett. I don't really like him as a coach at all. But we'll move on now to the Central Division. Who do you guys have in last place? And why is it the Blackhawks?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's the Blackhawks.
Does anyone disagree?
I do. I do not think the Blackhawks come in last. Yeah, I got some hot takes.
If you're going to say this team that I think you're going to say, I'm going to be pissed because I have them in 7th.
It's the Nashville Predators.
No, I don't.
Wow!
The Nashville Predators. This team is just brutal outside of UC Saros. I think UC Saros will steal them games, but
that's why I don't have them in last. Saros is why I don't have them in last.
Yeah, and they did pick up Ryan O'Reilly, but I didn't understand that move. I don't think this team's in any position to go out and win. I know they've been just super consistent like the last 10 years and making the playoffs and being like a pretty good team, but I think they fall off drastically this year.
My problem is Andrew Brunette's behind that bench, and I don't know what the fuck he did to New Jersey and what the fuck he did to Florida.
True.
Listen, spoiler, I don't have Nashville in the playoffs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do because I don't know what the fuck Andrew Brunette's feeding his teams, but offensively they end up being fucking juggernauts, and then they get whooped in the playoffs. So,
yep.
Who do you guys have in 7th? And I'll go last since I think I have a hot take for 7th place.
7th is where I have the Chicago Blackhawks. I just don't have them in last because I think Bedard will be just crazy his first year. They get Taylor Hall, Nick Foligno, Corey Perry. They get veteran pieces. I think they'll be pretty nice on offense. Defense is definitely not good, and goaltending is not good. But I think Bedard is going to be the truth, and he'll put up a very good season to help them not be last.
That's fair.
I got plain vanilla. I'm going Blackhawks, then the Coyotes in 7th.
Interesting.
Nothing hot here. Not yet.
It's about to get hot.
Or is it
about to get cold?
In 7th place, I have a team that I believe is severely overrated, and that is the St. Louis Blues.
Oh no!
Oh,
because
the Blues. Okay, wow.
I like Craig Berube a lot, but I think the team's going to underachieve to start the year.
Yep.
And they're going to end up firing him, and it's going to be a gut reaction. It's going to be a mistake. We went ad nauseum about how Jordan Kyrou is maybe a tad bit overrated. Sorry, Nico. I know you look like him, but like I hate to rip your doppelganger, but I just don't think that Jordan Kyrou is as good as some people make him out to be. I have questions about Buchnevich. Thomas, I think, is a good player. But here's where I really do not like the Blues. Jordan Binnington is softer, like the softest. I can't even, there's no fucking words for Jordan Binnington without soft he is. Like, there's no analogy you can make. Like, you can't even say he's as soft as baby shit because he is softer than that. And then you get to their blue line. Who on their blue line is impressing you that much? Is Colton Parayko like that great on their blue line? Absolutely not. Torrey Krug has regressed ever since he walked into St. Louis. Justin Falk is really not that great. Nick Leddy, Blues fans wanted to run him out of town. Marco Scandela's whatever. He's not worth $3.2 million. Robert Bertuzzo, okay, a fine defenseman. And then Callie Rosen. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think the Blues have a good roster. And then Kapanen's an idiot off the ice, so he might not play. I know they brought Kevin Hayes in, but Kevin Hayes is not saving this team. The Blues are not that good.
That's fair. That's very fair. This division I think was the hardest to predict. I don't know how you guys
The Atlantic for me.
Fair. Definitely couldn't make that case for sure.
I don't have a hot take though for sixth place. I have the Coyotes. I think they're going to be very competitive this year though. I will say I like the moves they made. The young pieces are going to start to come together too a bit. I have the Coyotes in sixth.
Sixth, I have our favorite, the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what did they come in last year. They made the playoffs. Was it fourth? I want to say it was fourth. I just don't think you traded Pierre-Luc Dubois. Obviously, I like the return you got, but you're probably trading Scheifele. You're probably trading Hellebuck. So, this team's going to start taking steps back, in my opinion. So, I'm in the sixth.
Nick, who do you have in sixth?
St. Louis.
Yeah. Did I sway you a bit on that?
No, I'm a non-believer in St. Louis because I think they have a terrible defense. Well, hold on. I think Colton Parayko is great, but in terms of defending on defense,
that's not good.
I think they got a great forward core. I think they have a top 10 forward core in the NHL some days, but I think their defense is trash. And to Logan's point, Krug just got hurt, so their defense just got worse.
And Krug, to begin with, wasn't even that great of a piece, but we'll start to go quicker since we're running shorter on time here. But I have Nashville in fifth place.
I have the Arizona Coyotes. I think the Coyotes are very underrated. I think they're a good team, and they will surprise people.
Play hard.
Nick, who's your fifth place team?
Fifth place, I also have Nashville.
I have in fourth, I have Winnipeg as a second wild card. I want to give a quick reason why I'm gassing up, not Winnipeg itself, but I'm gassing up the team. Granted, the Baskin Robbins is making a little bit of progress, so we have to.
It's almost done. It's almost done.
Like maybe halfway there, living on a prayer. But if you take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. But I like the trade that they made for Pierre-Luc Dubois, like I mentioned the other way, where I thought LA was stupid. I think they got deeper by making that trade. I think Velarde's such a good ad. Iafallo's a good ad. And then Kapari is going to be solid for the bottom six. And the team's not that much different than it was last year, and they made the playoffs. So, and if anything, they got better by getting rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois. So, who wants to go next?
Sean Hunt.
I'll go. I got the St. Louis Blues in fourth. I see your guys' points, how you think this is an overrated team, and you have them down there. But I do love Craig Berube. I think he will keep the team competitive. They're committing to winning, obviously, getting Kevin Hayes. I love the offense. I know you said Kyrou, you don't love him, but Kyrou is my guy. And I root for him. I think he's a good player. And you got Buchnevich, Robert Thomas. And then just Kapanen obviously has his problems off the ice. But the defense is not great. The defense is definitely concerning on the team. But, yeah, I have them at fourth.
I got Minnesota at 4.
Wow. I mean, I have them in third.
I have them in third.
Who do you have in third?
The Winnipeg Jets.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I think that having Velarde, Kapari, and Iafallo
That's
instead of
of
Pierre-Luc Dubois
PLD.
is more valuable because the Winnipeg Jets' issues did not exist in the top 6. It existed in the bottom 6. I
Yep.
think they've got a really solid defense. They've got Mark Scheifele coming off a 40-goal season and going into a contract year. They've got Connor Hellebuyck going into a contract year. I'm just saying.
I'm
Guys
with
tend
you.
to play better when they've got a contract coming up.
I'm with you on that. And then for the last two, in second, I have Colorado, and first, I have Dallas.
Same.
Dallas second, Colorado first.
Fair. We'll move on to where I think this one's going to get a little weird.
Here we go.
The Atlantic's going to get weird.
The Atlantic's going to get really weird.
In last, though, it's Montreal. I think we can move on. Nobody has a hot take? Toronto's finishing last,
there.
anyone? Toronto in last, anyone? No? Okay. In seventh, I have Detroit, overrated team.
Okay.
And Nico froze again. His connection has been brutal. Nick, who do you have in seventh?
All right. So, and I don't mean to make a long conversation long, but the Atlantic Division borderline ended my fucking life. All right. In seventh place, and I need you to bear with me. I
think I know where this is going, and I had them in seventh, but I made a last-minute change. I think I know where this is going, though.
It's got
no, okay, that's not where I thought it was going. Okay. Never mind. Wow.
That was a tough one, too. Especially with Tarasenko coming in.
Interesting.
But I've got them in seventh place. The Atlantic is so far between 7 and 3. I think this division is like this close. Not
Nico,
7-3. No, yeah, 7-3.
I have the Red Wings as well. I think they're overrated as well. I totally agree.
By the way, let's just get it out of the way and not waste time. First and second. First Toronto, second Tampa, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In sixth place. This is where I thought you were going.
No. I don't have that as my 1-2.
All right, we'll get there then after. In sixth place, this is where I thought you were going, and this is the team that I had in seventh, but then I made a last-second switch. Boston.
Okay.
I know sometimes they never go away. Those Bruins.
They're pesky.
But I think they finally go away. I just that center core is just
it's
brutal. Everybody overachieved, and especially Olmark. Olmark is not getting over a 920 save percentage again. There's only like a handful of goalies that have had over a 920 save percentage in back-to-back years. Olmark is not that guy. Or a 930 is what I meant, not 920.
In sixth, I have Florida Panthers.
Fair.
Stanley Cup final team last year. I think it was a Fugazi run. They won't
That's my guy.
be doing it.
I got Detroit in 6.
Fair. So we're similar with this. In 6, I have the Panthers.
You mean fifth?
Or fifth, I meant. Fifth, I have the Panthers. No, I have 2 sixth-place teams, actually.
Oh.
The dead tie.
No, but in fifth, I have the Panthers.
Panthers. In fifth, I have the Buffalo Sabres.
Oh.
Fifth
place,
I like their team. I think they're very good, but I love it for the future. It's too tough, this division. Everyone's so good.
Mikey in the chat's loving my Bruins and six-pack. Who do you have? Nick?
Fifth, I have Boston.
Yep. Yeah. Fair. In fourth, as my wild card 1 team, I have Buffalo.
Wow, nice. And fourth wild card 2 team, the Boston Bruins. I just think
they don't go away.
They made history in the regular season. I know they lost a lot, but I just don't think they fall off that much. I do not think they do.
I would rip the take if this was last season, but after last season when I doubted them, I'm not gonna rip the take.
I got Buffalo in 4.
Yeah, and then in third I have Ottawa, Second, I have Tampa, like I said, and then first, I have
Yeah.
Toronto.
Same top three.
I got Tampa, Florida, Toronto.
Wow.
Mm,
I just don't see it with
interesting.
Florida. They have injuries to
Yeah.
start the year too. It's like
You know what I see in Florida?
I
I
don't
see
know.
Sam Reinhart contract year, Cousins, Lorenz contract year. I see Gustav Forsling contract year. I see a lot. I see Spencer Knight coming back. I see hopefully Ekblad and Montour getting a little bit healthy. And I see a team that no longer has 2 fucking stalls on it, so they're better by default.
You said something that's just non-existent though. There, Aaron Ekblad being healthy. That's just
Yeah, it's true.
he loves to not play a full
But dude,
season.
you
That's
know
his
what?
favorite.
Like, hear me out on this, dude. I would venture to say that both Barkov and Kachuk have over 90 points this year. I think Kachuk, I don't know if he hits 100 again, but I think Barkov hits 90 again. He gets back into the swing of things.
That I wouldn't doubt, but
I'd
I
see it.
question it just because of Paul Maurice's system. But Matthew Kachuk, my guy. Freaking Connor McDavid
Listen,
ruined that for me. I
Dude.
thought I had the Hart Trophy pick on lock last year, but
Yeah.
Connor McDavid fucking ruined it. I count it as a victory still. If you finish second behind McDavid, that's
Yeah, that's a W.
a W in my books. They should just give out 2 Hart Trophies now.
They should.
Yeah.
Because McDavid's gonna win by default usually. But we'll move on to the Metro Division in 8th place. Philly. I mean, any disagreements?
No disagreements at all.
In 7th, I have put your phone away, Columbus Blue Jackets.
I have a different one as well. I have the Washington Capitals.
Same.
Interesting. So, do you guys have the Blue Jackets
And then
then?
the Blue Jackets in 6th.
Yep.
I have
IFC.
Washington in 6th. My thing with the only thing with Washington is that like their roster still on paper is still like
It's not bad at all.
it's still decent. Pacioretty's coming back too, so
True.
it'll help
Pacioretty
them
was
out
a
a bit. But
pickup.
obviously, with a rookie coach, there's questions. But I just think the Blue Jackets are still too young for them. Then I have another team that's just overrated in 5th place, the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, that's an overrated team, right?
I think so.
I think a bit. But in 5th, I have the Islanders.
I think those 2 are easy to flip flop because I have Penguins
Yeah.
Islanders too.
Yeah, I would say the bottom 3 is a lock. The middle 2 are locks, and then the top 3 are locks. Because I have the Islanders as a wild card too next.
I have Penguins as my wild card 1.
You guys know my top 3. I've made it abundantly clear that I have New Jersey in 3rd, the Rangers in 2nd, Canes in 1st.
I have the Rangers in 2nd as well, but I do have the Devils and Canes flip-flop. I just get a weird feeling about the Canes. I know they're very stacked and always have a good regular season, but I don't know why. I'm just getting a vibe, just a feeling that they finish in 3rd, and Devils and Rangers are better.
God, I'm gonna sound like an asshole now. I got the Rangers in 3rd, followed by the Devils and the President's Trophy Hurricanes.
I have the Leafs winning the President's Trophy.
Really?
Yeah.
They're gonna beat up on some
presence.
bad teams, and I don't know, like that division's just weak. They're gonna rack up so many points.
That's true. I think the Hurricanes are gonna be unstoppable this year, dude. I mean, they scared the piss out of me. And then you just fucking PTO'd Aston Reese too, which is who I wanted. I've been beating on the Aston Reese drum for a long time. But dude, I look at the Hurricanes, like they made it to the conference finals last year without Andrei Svechnikov. And not only are they going into the season with Andrei Svechnikov, they're also going in with Dmitry Orlov, Tony DeAngelo, who played great for them when he was with them, and God damn it, who I wanted, Michael Bunting.
Nick, you're taking my moment away for later. God damn it.
I'm sorry, dude. I fear the Hurricanes.
I'm with you, which gets us to the playoffs predictions. In round 1, I'll go first for round 1. I have Toronto beating the Islanders.
Okay.
Hot take. I have Ottawa beating Tampa.
I have
Carolina beating Buffalo. And I have the Rangers beating the Devils. In the West, I have Edmonton beating Winnipeg. I have the Knights beating LA. I have Dallas beating Seattle, and I have Colorado beating Minnesota.
Interesting.
Should I keep going, or do you want to just go one round at a
You can
time,
go.
each of us?
Yeah, we can do that. So
I'd
I'm
say
gonna have her.
yeah.
I'm gonna have the Hurricanes and the Rangers. Actually, let me start with the Devils and the Bruins. One seed versus wild card two. Wait, no. I have the Maple Leafs winning the President's Trophy, and then wild card two. I have the Bruins. So Toronto and the Bruins in the first round. I have Toronto.
We've seen that movie before.
We've seen that movie before, but I think Toronto will stick it to them this time around.
If that's the matchup, I don't know.
And then Devils Penguins. I have the Penguins upsetting the Devils round one. I think the Devils get exposed in the playoffs in round one and lose. We would be there front and center. We don't love the Penguins. We don't love the Penguins either, but we much rather them see them win over the Devils if that happens. And then Rangers Hurricanes, of course. I'm going the Rangers. And then over in the West, I have the Oilers and Kraken. I have the Oilers. Then the Avalanche and Kings. I have the Avalanche. Then the Stars and Wild again. I have the Stars. And then the Golden Knights and Canucks. I have the Canucks. I'm very high on the Canucks. I am very high on them.
Bold.
Yes.
Do you have any bets lined up for the Canucks this year? Like
I should. I'm so high on them. I think I might have to go to the book. Might have to go. I don't know how I don't think they're rated too high, so probably can get some good odds cooking.
Yeah, you could go to the book with that one.
For sure.
I've got I'll start in the West and I'll work my way up. But I've got Vegas over Edmonton, LA over Seattle, Colorado over Minnesota, Dallas over Winnipeg. I've got Toronto over Buffalo. I've got Florida over Tampa again. I've got Carolina over the Islanders and Rangers over the Devils.
Let's go. Fucking hate the Devils. I fucking hate them.
It's like an ego pick because I think the Devils. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know.
No. I'm with you though. I'm with you.
I'm not a believer right now. That was just a safe face.
I talked my shit last year and I was wrong, but I'll talk it again this year. I'm not a believer in them. I'm just not.
It's hard to be a believer.
But with the next round, what the fuck happened here? Someone else go first with the next round. I don't know what the fuck just happened here.
Go ahead, Nico.
So, yeah, I got so now I would have the Rangers and the Penguins meeting again round two. I have the Rangers advancing, and then the Maple Leafs and the why am I blanking? They would be playing the would I have winning round one? Maple Leafs and Lightning over the Senators. I think I forgot to mention that one. So Maple Leafs and Lightning. I think the Maple Leafs advance. So Eastern Conference Final, Maple Leafs Rangers, and then the West I have the Oilers winning, and then that would be over Vancouver. I think their run comes to an end there, and then Avalanche make the conference finals as well. So
just go through the conference finals and
yeah.
Okay.
I have a final of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers, and the first time since 1967 the Toronto Maple Leafs President's Trophy curse doesn't exist. Win the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
I know.
Okay. I'll go. My picks are pretty boring after that one. I have Toronto beating Ottawa. I have Carolina beating the Rangers, unfortunately. I think Carolina has such a huge chip on their shoulder this year.
Yeah. Yes.
I have Edmonton beating Vegas, Dallas beating Colorado, and then I have in the conference finals Carolina beating Toronto, Dallas beating Edmonton, and I have Carolina beating Dallas in the Cup.
Wow. Just fucking take my script from me.
Yeah. That's fucking right. You were gassing up the Canes before I take your fucking script now.
I have Dallas over Colorado, Vegas over LA. Then I have Dallas beating Vegas going to the Cup. I've got Toronto over Florida, Carolina over the Rangers, Carolina over Toronto, and then Carolina over Dallas.
Yeah. So we're on par Carolina. With that.
Yeah.
Let's run through the awards quickly. Who do you guys have winning the Rocket?
The Rocket Richard, I have going to David Pastrnak.
Oh.
Okay. I have a hot take for mine, so Nick, you go.
I've got Connor McDaddy winning it again.
How could he go?
Fair. My take, I have Braden Point winning the Rocket.
Oh!
Like that one. I do like that a lot.
The Vezina. I'll start this one because it's not a hot take. I have UC Soros. I think he's going to steal them some games and keep them in playoff contention, as I mentioned earlier.
Very interesting.
Our boy, Igor Shesterkin is winning another Vezina trophy. Second time in 3 years.
My God, Nico. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Goat.
He's doing the miracles.
Absolute goat. I've got bear with me here. Don't get mad at me, please. I beg of you. I'm just kidding. I have Igor Shesterkin winning. I have Shesty winning.
We'd love to see it.
Both of you, please be right at least about that. And Nico, you could be right about your Vancouver take. I'll be there with the Canada shirt on it.
I'll be there with the Canada shirt on. It's great. Cold me.
The Selkie, since Bergeron's not in the league, who
That's
it. For me, it's Mitch Marner.
Mitch.
It's Mitch.
Wowzers.
The bitch. 2BC throwback there.
I am going to go with Elias Pettersson.
Ooh.
I like that pick.
That's
Let's go Mookie Betts on you.
The Canucks.
I like this.
No, that's actually really. Oh God! Don't get me changing my.
I just
mind
don't want Nico
here.
Hischier to win it. That's why I didn't say.
No,
don't get me changing.
He's probably
my
the
mind.
favorite.
You kind of got me second guessing myself.
Who did you have?
I had Elias Pettersson and Barkov as like. I had Barkov over Pettersson, but now I'm like fucking. I'm gonna stick with my gut. I'm riding the Barkov train this season. I'm saying Barky's winning it.
Fair. The guy that has been close before. Didn't he win it actually 1 year? I could be wrong, but
I think he did. No, maybe. I don't know. He's always a finalist.
The Norris, for me, this guy. Some people might call him a hero because his name's Miro Heiskanen.
The hero.
He's talking about how he's gonna have a big year, so I'm buying in. He wants to win a Norris badly. He needs that more than anything.
Sipping on that Kool-Aid, I like it.
That makes two of us because I have Miro Heiskanen as well, winning the Norris Trophy.
My God. Someone said VC's gonna win the Selkie.
Let's see that.
A Kit Kat legend.
Fucking VC. For the Norris Trophy, and I'm only saying this because I know the NHL all too well. You can't fool me. It's gonna be Cale Makar, I think.
Sorry. Fucking thank God. Brian Johnson actually made a good call off the fucking subject. Thank God. Can you believe that the Eagles actually made a play for more than 10 yards? Can you believe it?
Oh,
that's my guy, Devontae Smith. Let's go. Next award, the Connor McDavid. I mean the Art Ross. Who do you guys have? Sorry, I said my answer by accident. Isn't that weird? I have Connor McDavid winning the Art Ross.
It's Connor McDavid. Yeah, let's be honest.
It's an easy one.
Yep.
The Jennings Trophy. What tandem wins the Jennings?
I have Swayman and Linus. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too familiar with this award. Who won it last year? Was it Swayman and Omar? I assume. Yeah, so I think they'll win it again.
I've got the Dallas tandem winning it.
Fair. I have mainly because of the fact that these are two more than capable starting caliber goalies. I have Sorokin and Varlamov winning it.
That's a safe pick.
GM of the year. There's a guy that I had winning last year, and I'm running it back. I'm going with Brad Treliving since the Leafs are going to win the President's Trophy. And he changed the roster up a bit. I'm going with Brad Treliving.
Going with him as well. Bertuzzi, Domi. Just
Which is
straight
why
pick
Keith
as
will win the
well.
Jack Adams too. Sorry, not to spoil that pick.
Yeah, Jack Adams. I have, of course. Why not do it one more time with the Canucks, Rick Tocchet? I mean, if they're gonna be third, I think it's if I have him in third, he's got to be winning it.
Oh my God, I've got the Hurricanes GM Don Waddell winning the GM of the year, and I've got Peter DeBoer winning the Jack Adams of the Dallas Stars.
That's also a fair pick. I think Dallas is so
They're
underappreciated.
They're so solid.
The Calder Trophy. I'll go last on this one.
Come on, Connor Bedard.
Yeah, I think that's a gimme.
Hate to be so obvious. I know you probably have a different pick if you wanted to go last, which is interesting. But
I do have a different pick. I do.
Hit us.
Now listen. I understand. I will not be surprised if Connor Bedard ends up winning it. But I like being different. That's just how I am. And I am a true believer in this guy dragging his team into the playoffs so much so that it wins him the Calder. Devin Levi. I think Devin Levi
It's a very interesting pick.
ends up winning the Calder Trophy.
That's a very interesting pick.
Buffalo does not have good goaltending at all. Comrie and Pekka Luukkonen are not good. They just aren't. So I think that Devin Levi ends up stealing the Calder from Connor Bedard.
It's a fair pick. It's valid.
I just didn't want to be boring. I understand why you guys picked it, but because I won't be surprised. But now I'm going last on this one too. After I selfishly want to. After I was close with my Matt Tkachuk prediction last year. Who do you guys have winning the Hart this year?
Boring again, Connor McDavid. But if I did have a sleeper pick, I like Jason Robertson.
Yep, I almost went with him.
I'm just gonna say my first and second place pick because I think McDavid is going to win it again. I don't even think it's really going to be close. And I think in second place, I'm going to give the nod to Matthew Tkachuk. I think he's going to have another monster year.
Fair. With my pick, he will. I wish the Rangers got him. But with my pick, I'm going a little spicy again like last year. And I still, like I said before, I consider it a W. Because he was second behind McDavid, Tkachuk. So I'm going with a hot take yet again this year to try and go 2 for 2 in a way with my predictions. Because I think this guy is the only thing that might stop this guy is the team that he plays for. And the fact that he's just so underappreciated by everyone in the NHL. I'm going with Braden Point.
Wow. Big Braden Point guy.
I'm a huge Braden Point guy, and I think that he's so underappreciated. And the reason he might not win it is, like I said, teammates. I think that just because he plays with Kucherov, Hedman, and guys like that, that people might not look at him that way. But I truly think that Steven Stamkos is not, he's still a very good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not what he once was. And I think that Braden Point actually has helped. I think Kucherov obviously helps Point, and it's vice versa too. But I think Point's in for a huge season, and that's my bold take with the Hart. If it's not McDavid, of course. But we do have bold predictions too.
Yes.
To get into. Do you want to do the league-wide bold prediction first, or do we want to do our Rangers one?
Do the Rangers last. We'll close with that.
All right. I'll start with my bold prediction since I want to go last for the Rangers one. I'm going with the Toronto Maple Leafs trading William Nylander at the trade deadline.
Okay.
Wow.
Hear me out.
Interesting.
And hear me out on why. There is a defenseman that is on the market and expendable by another team. His name is Brett Pesce. Because
revisit that trade. They've been talking about that for years.
Yeah, and the Leafs up front.
NHL needs that.
more than anything, yeah. The Leafs have Marner. They have Matthews, Tavares, Domi, Bertuzzi, Nyes, Yarn Croc could play up and down the lineup. You know who they sound like to me? They sound like Jack Harlow because they have a lot of options up front.
They do have a lot of options.
I believe that Nylander becomes expendable. Obviously, it helped their playoff run, but I truly believe they need to bolster that blue line still. And why not a William Nylander for Brett Pesce deal at the trade deadline? Or if the Leafs want, we could just give them Ben Harper and Lafreniere for Nylander, and that would make me happy. But what's your guys' bold predictions?
Imagine that.
I'm not gonna go first on this one.
My bold prediction is that Jeremy Swayman takes over as the Boston Bruins starter over Linus Ullmark some point this season.
Wow.
I really fucking like that.
I like that too.
I love that.
I do think it happens. I really do. Linus Ullmark, I think, overachieved again, another guy last year. So I have confidence in Swayman. I love Swayman. I think he takes the crease.
That's a good one. Well done, Nico. Well done. I think you're still outrageous for your Vancouver pick, but the rest of this.
Thank you. I bounced back with a bold prediction.
I mean, look at the resume. It's almost flawless on this one. Wow. But Nick, who do you have, or what do you have as your bold prediction, I should say?
All right, so I have, and I briefly mentioned this player earlier as a joke because I want the Rangers again, but I know he's not going to go to the Rangers. But it's another trade prediction. It's 2. My prediction is that at the trade deadline, the Pittsburgh Penguins will trade Jake Gensel to the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
And then,
whoa!
Once that is done and the dust has settled, everyone's like, wow, Buffalo's pretty damn dope. I think the Buffalo Sabres go out and make another move. I think they do. What do they get? I don't know. I don't know. But if they're on, we kind of need some more forwards. We still have a lot of assets. We have $40 million in cap space because at the trade deadline, the Buffalo Sabres have $40 million in cap space. I think they get one of Mark Scheifele or and I need you to hear me out on this because I don't think very many people think this guy's going to get traded. I personally do because I think Ottawa's going to suck, or Vladimir Tarasenko.
Wow.
And I think the Buffalo Sabres are going to go into the playoffs stacked.
Well, my take doesn't sound as bold compared to both of you. I like both of your takes way more. I think my Rangers one is a lot spicier and better, but wow, both of you, I like that. My reaction worked in 2 different ways. It worked for your bold reaction, Jordan Davis being a fucking animal right now, making Kirk Cousins run for his life. But who do you guys have, or what do you have, I should say, for your Rangers bold prediction? I'm going last on this one, like I said before.
I'll go second.
All right. I'll go first. As much as I shit on the guy, Artemi Panarin, I think, for the first time in his career, has an 100-plus point season. I think Bald Panarin is going off, at least for the regular season.
Would be nice.
Better do it in the playoffs, too. But I think he has a huge regular season and is, up there for the hard top 5 potential.
Where do I sign for this one to happen? Where do I sign?
Point to the dotted line.
And hopefully that will age better than Trouba's contract when I sign it. So, Nick, what's your bold prediction?
I think Filipino scores 35 or more goals.
That's my guy, Filipino. That's my guy, Filipino.
Me certainly thinks that.
Wow. Okay.
And that is literally all I have because I don't really see much right now.
I have a 2-parter in mind. Okay. Because what's something that I love to do? What's something I love to do? I love to take jabs at the New Jersey Devils any chance I get, or poke the fan base and get them riled up as much as I could. So, not only do I have Mika Zibanejad leading the Rangers in points this year, but I have Mika Zibanejad having more points than Jack Hughes.
Wow.
Holy.
That is my spicy
Scorcher.
take. Because...
You think Hughes is going to get hurt?
No.
Wow.
This is assuming both
That's
are
bold.
healthy.
I like that.
Because I truly believe if Mika Bananadad could score 40-plus goals under David fucking Quinn, I do, and
That's
that was
fucking
with
fair.
him
That
not
is
playing a full
valid.
season too. I have no reason to believe he cannot score 50 under Laviolette, and he will get the assist too. There's a world where Mika Zibanejad is, dare I say, there's a world where he's an 100-point player this year. Because 5v5, the Rangers will be better
ridiculous to say.
offensively.
Possible. Very popsicle.
That's my hot take. That's why I wanted to go last, because I
Alls
knew
I'm
you
saying.
guys. And I'm gonna do that. I knew you guys would give a reaction like that. But yeah, that's my spicy take.
That's a bold one.
I
We hope it happens.
I was gonna
We will
just
be here.
leave it at the Mika leads the Rangers in points, but I had a chance to poke at the Devils a bit.
It's a little.
Why not? Take a little jab.
Yeah, why not? But I'm sure they're gonna love that one, hearing that one. But does anyone have anything else to say before we end the episode? Because this is the last podcast until the preseason. We will be there.
We're almost
Yeah.
there. We're so close. What
We're
9
not
days
even gonna
away?
have to
made
say
it.
we will be there anymore. Like we're there.
We're
When's
gonna
preseason
be
game?
there.
On the 23rd? NHL.
Not even we're gonna be there. It's we are there. Like that's what it's about to be. We
Yeah,
are there.
exactly. We are there. First
When do we-
game against the Bruins on the
24th.
road next
Yep.
Sunday.
10 days.
Yeah, so
10
it'd be very
days!
exciting just to see some sort of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I'm glad that the time will go nice and quick for me to get there. Going back to Winnipeg again for another vacation soon. So
Cool off of it.
yeah, just cool off just a bit. I'm so excited for preseason. Couldn't wait to watch Mika Zibanejad score 100 points this year.
Oh my god, I fucking hope. Oh
Gonna
my
be
god.
tweeting like
Yeah.
that. Oh wait, my thumbs are gonna friggin' freeze in the middle of me typing it out.
Frostbite.
Oh, forget it.
But we're gonna be there, and the podcast is already wild in the offseason. It's about to get fucking ridiculous when the season starts.
Very animated.
Although the only
Oh,
thing
man.
that sucks is we completely forgot. Not just forgot, but like we never ended up being able to plan out that random Rangers stream at all.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking
Random
god.
Rangers.
We could still do it. We could still make it work. Maybe we'll do that the day before the first game of the regular season. And whoever shows up, shows up.
Yeah. The only problem is gonna be is getting everyone to join.
Whoever shows. We'll make it work.
Yeah. I don't we'll have to start asking people about that.
Mm.
Because that stream would be great.
That would be so
We're
good.
already I really wonder what some people like first time watching our podcast think of us. Like I really wonder how stupid they think we are. Or not
Oh.
stupid, but like how fucking crazy we are. Why are they dunking on Winnipeg so much?
What is the obsession?
I don't
What
Winnipeg's
is
not
we will
that
be
bad.
there? I need that more than anything.
Who's in Mbappe?
Mbappe. Oh my god. I gotta hop on when my girlfriend kills me.
Yeah, I gotta go watch this this game. Which I'm already LeBron James with this one. Like this one is making me feel a certain way. The Eagles are fucking eating up on them. Oh my god, DeAndre Swift.
Keep rubbing it in. For a good football team, I get it.
No, Nico roots for a good team until the playoffs come around.
No.
Waffle
No.
House.
No.
Waffle House lives in your nightmares.
Really,
Oh,
I can't.
God.
In my nightmares, to say the least. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, seeing Trevor Lawrence there. Oh my fucking god, DeAndre Swift, you're gross. Seeing that Trevor Lawrence in the Waffle House.
That did not make me happy. Not make me smile.
Okay, wait. Before we wrap it up, how'd you feel about the AI fans that the Chargers had?
Embarrassing, really embarrassing. We had to put some sort of Chargers fans in the stands, obviously, because we play 16 road games a year. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I got to take a flight out to LA and get some season tickets or something to get some support going for this team. Because there's not
good thing
much
they
of
moved.
I'll
Yeah.
never for the life of me
Didn't
understand
get
why
it.
they left San Diego.
Fucking so stupid.
The only like
Ridiculous.
Charger fans I know are you, Nico, and then a guy that I won't mention that's on YouTube. That's beyond cringy to say the least.
We don't need to mention him.
I love
Absolutely
watching
not.
you just like clown him in his replies at times.
I always just do it from here to there. Oh, that's great.
Well, we're gonna wrap up the episode. Thank you everyone for watching. Next episode, we're talking about preseason hockey. It won't be we will be there. It will be we're there.
We're there.
See you guys there.